No, weón.
You're on a
Voy a
path
hacer
in
máximo
the
uno más
woods,
porque me estoy quedando dormido.
and at the end of that path is a cabin.
Es que es demasiado texto.
That's the spirit. You make your way up the short path to the cabin. You'll find we're not going to go through. The interior of the cabin, the blade is your. The door to the basement creaks open. Good. You're still listening to reason. It would be better if you had a weapon, but you walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement. She's beautiful. I am begging you to stay.
Hi. Do you think you can get me out of these chains? Okay.
Creo que estoy repitiendo algo, ¿no?
Only making this more difficult.
Thank you, and you won't.
You're making a huge. No, you're doing the right thing. You walk up to the chains binding. They're large and heavy.
I'm guessing you don't have the key?
Puta,
Maybe it's
parece que la
somewhere else.
cagué.
Doubtful. Whoever locked the.
Maybe there's some way to break the chain? Or if that doesn't work, I guess we can always cut me out of them.
She offers the suggestion with almost complete nonchalance. If we were stuck down here long enough, I'm sure we'd be nonchalant about cutting our way out if it meant we could finally be free. You attempt to make your way out of the basement, but the door...
Cerrar
Someone
la
else
puerta.
here. You try the door. You make your way to the bottom of the stairs. Easier for whom? Easier for everyone. Look at the mess you're in.
I heard the door slam. They locked.
There's a slight panic rising in the...
If I could just get out of these chains, I know we could force our way out of here together.
She barely hesitates as she rips her flesh. It's the blade from upstairs, or you won't like...
Ah, claro, pero ahora puedo cambiar esto. Opa.
Without hesitation, you bring the blade down and plunge it into the princess's back. The wound drives her to the ground. Okay, there's no going back now. I'm with you to the end.
You bastard. Were you lying to me this whole time?
Si en este juego las decisiones importaran, parece que la buena me va a odiar.
The princess pushes away from you, the motion ripping the blade from her back. Wounded, but still alive, she crouches on all fours in the corner of the room.
You've made a terrible enemy, and there's nothing in the world that can possibly save you from me.
I thought we had the upper hand, but it's as if she's barely even threatened by us. It's an act. She's wounded and unarmed. There's nothing she can do to hurt you. I'm not so sure. Don't waver now. As you ready your blade to deliver a lethal blow, she lunges at your legs with the same animal ferocity she used to tear at her arm. Your blade cuts into her again and again as you're tackled to the ground, your body racked with pain as she rips into you with tooth and claw. Forget about trying to rescue her. This is about survival now. Give her everything you've got. Though your nerves are seizing with pain, you know you've done your fair share of damage as well, your blade having left deep gashes in the princess's back. You seize a moment of hesitation to throw her off of you and shakily push yourself back to your knees. We can still turn this around.
Es que no la quiero matar, weón.
Are you serious? As what's left of your blood pools around you on the cobblestone floor, the blade falls from your trembling hands and clatters uselessly against the princess. Wounded but still alive, nervously jumps at the blade and kicks it far away from you before retreating into a dark corner of the room. Her shining eyes watch you from the darkness, unblinking and curious, as we can only hope the wounds you managed to inflict will be enough to at least delay her escape from this place. If we're very lucky, they'll kill her before she can reach the outside world.
After all this time alone, I thought I'd finally found a friend, but you were just another monster, weren't you?
This is the end, isn't it? Before you can answer, everything goes dark.
The Beast.
You're on a path in the woods.
Shut the fuck
You're
up.
here to... She will love as a cat. I don't see why that matters. She could have gotten out of there whenever she wanted to. We should trust nothing that she tells us, only what we hear. And that's a very roundabout way of saying that you should listen to me and take this. Maybe.
Perdón, me salté un par de cosas, pero pensé que era lo mismo de siempre.
The interior of the cabin is ruinous and dilapidated. It feels like no one has lived here for a long time, wind rushing in through cracks and holes in the wooden walls. The only furniture... The blade is your implement. No steel claw. Do you think we can talk our way out of this? I guess we'll just have to trust that we made the right call. We'll still be here if we need it.
No, es que me
The door to
aburrí.
the basement creaks open, revealing what's left of an old wooden staircase. The air seeping up from below, she growls up the stair.
I can smell you.
She sounds almost impatient. Or maybe you carefully make your way down the stairs. The last step gives way to the damp earth floor of a starlit pit. The walls are obscured by an impenetrable darkness, giving the illusion that the room might stretch on forever.
Tu cuerpo roza las grandes hojas de las plantas que te rodean en todas las direcciones. Parecen ser los únicos seres vivos que habitan estas extrañas junglas
The jungle is
subterráneas.
pressing in on us, hiding her from view. She could be... You see only a flash of the princess before she scurries away into the underbrush, dragging her heavy chain behind her. Remember, she's just a princess. She is certainly not just a princess. You're not helping. It doesn't matter what she is. It only matters. Her shining eyes appear between the leaves, staring hungrily at you from the dark.
I can hear your heart pounding from the bottom of the stairs, fledgling. You're right to be terrified. I'm so much more than you.
A shiver rushes up your spine and pulls you upright. The air's shifting. She's getting ready to pounce. Move, now. There's a shift in the humid air, and something enormous, the princess, lunges from the shadows, her maw unhinged and dripping. Her eye, she is too quick to outrun, too nimble to outmaneuver, too determined to overpower. I guess that's it then. Unfortunately for you, no. This isn't it. You are in a dark and caustic place. A thick, fibrous lining constricts around you, its slick surface impossible to grip. Your hands scrabbling uselessly at your surroundings as they compress in on you. Your lungs can barely expand in such a tiny space. Not that the humid, finite air grants you more than a few shallow breaths at a time.
Oye, dale con la weá. No sé qué hacer. Creo que es así nomás, quizá el juego. Pero si las decisiones importan, yo creo que estoy dejando la embarrada.
You spoke when you needed to act.
The liquid pooling beneath you starts to seep into your skin. You itch, then sting, then burn.
When I killed you, I tried to leave this place, but it wouldn't let me. You belong down there, it screamed at me. The world is better off without you in it.
The flesh around you rumbles as the princess begins to move, her thundering footfalls twisting you helplessly about. Your skin protests as the corrosive liquid sloshes around you, but there will be no respite for you in sight. The burning grows stronger.
But you don't belong down here. You came from somewhere else. You came from out there. So I consumed your dead heart, and I carried it in my throat, and I draped what was left of you on my back, and I threw myself against that door.
She stops, her muscles tensing around you, and through the muffling layers of her flesh, you hear the whine of straining metal. And with a pop, she lurches forward. Her chains. She's loose.
But even then, it denied me freedom. You cannot fool me by draping yourself in decay. I know your true nature, and it is suffering.
Gravity pulls at you as you're hefted upwards, the distant creaking of ancient wooden steps barely audible over the thudding of the princess's heart.
And then it was gone, and I was here. A new enclosure, a nicer cage, but still a prison. I learned from my wounds. You're alive now. We can leave together.
Does that work? Could she free herself if we're alive in here? Do you really need me to give you a definitive answer for you to understand that the situation is grim? Stop her. We don't have steel, but we have tooth and claw. Tear through her.
I acted on my will, fledgling, and you acted on yours. The strong.
Your body is violently jostled, the disruption
Me da lo
causes
mismo, al
burning
final
skin
no-
to slop from raw muscle, and you hear what you can only assume is the princess pulling against the door to the cabin.
The cage is still locked.
I don't think we can talk our way out of this. We are drowning in death.
Every creature craves freedom. You will too before you die.
Sí, ese es el punto.
Banging as the princess
muy difícil
desperately
hacer algo.
throws everything at the cabin door. Your flesh screams as your reddened, spongy body is hit with fresh waves of blistering acid.
You can't hold me forever. I understand it, and it understands me. Talking is for those who don't know how to listen.
But will can never truly exceed the limits of the flesh. Your vision finally begins to blur, your eyes clouding over. What little air remains in this rancid stew of flesh and slippery organs is finally too foul to breathe, and your lungs
We are a path in the woods. We have no beginning, and we have no end. But something cold and unnatural sits watching us from just beyond our edge. His gaze pushes against our borders, curling them in on themselves, preventing them from stretching to the places
No, that's all wrong. You're not a path in the woods, you're on a path in the woods. That's not the princess, is it? Oh no. How many? I think this is our third? That's bad. That's very, very bad. It wasn't even supposed to reach 2. If you're at 3, well, no wonder things are... Let's get our facts straight. What happened last time? What could you have possibly done for things to be like this?
The thing that sits beyond our edge speaks his logic into us. He tries to grasp it. He tries to stare with wide pupils at that which can only be held from the corner of the eye or with a passing glance.
Muy poético, tan poético que no entiendo un carajo, pero entiendo, pero yo creo que esta es la parte que más entiendo, de hecho.
Shut up. The rest of you, talk. What happened? What did you do?
¿Pero qué le pasa a la princesa? ¿Cuál es la dinámica? ¿Quién soy yo? ¿Qué soy yo para ella? ¿Qué es ella para mí? ¿Qué es? No sé. Según yo es como todo un
Can she hear us if we talk?
conjunto.
I can hear everything, little one, but you don't have to be afraid of me. There's no place where you end and I begin. Nothing can hurt you here. Not anymore.
That's just because she devoured us and we dissolved away. We don't even exist as a body anymore. We're still here, though. And if we're safe, isn't that...
She ate you. And now you're convinced that you're stuck together.
He doesn't understand. We aren't convinced of anything, and we aren't stuck together. We're one. This is how we're supposed to be. Can't you feel it?
I guess that's it then. This is us now. We're the woods. Okay.
I'm not watching you, I'm trying to... That's not an answer to our question.
I don't know what he is. I only know that he is something other, and that he wishes for you and I to tear ourselves apart.
I do want that, but only because it's in your best interests. It's in everyone's best interests. You won't be able to slay her unless you remove yourself from her.
He wants us to kill each other.
I don't. I want you to kill her. Don't be charmed by her faux solidarity. You're not in this together. She's the only one who poses a threat to the world, and she's trying to make you go along with it. You don't have to enable her, especially when you have what it takes to stop her.
We push back. It may feel like he's everywhere, but presence isn't strength. Otherwise, he would have torn us apart by now. There must be a crack in the walls of this prison. There...
Tiene que haber una forma de liberarnos de él.
She's trying to use you. After everything she's done, you should be able to see that.
Voy a saltármelo porque soy ahora porque ahora me cae mal.
We can't go back to that. We can't go back to the fear and the hunger and the pain. Not after.
Doesn't all that conflict feel so far away right now? So petty? We've been posed against each other by something that understands the strength of our unity.
I can feel a thumping, like a distant terror that keeps getting louder the more we pay attention.
Please, stop. If you let it in, we'll fall apart.
Don't look at it!
No, you can't bury that feeling. You can't hide from your past.
The past doesn't have to exist. Our freedom is within us. We just have to find it.
No entiendo un carajo.
Fall inward into a network of connections too vast for your mind to occupy. Are you a path in the woods? Are you a body? Can you even grasp the fuzziest edges of the shapes that confine you?
Suele pasar igual que no entiendo un carajo. Yo creo que es como mi estándar.
We can change to fill them together.
Debería haber puesto la cámara en la mitad. A ver las opciones. Pero no vería. No, acá arriba quizás.
We don't need to be everywhere, we just need to test them.
You'd do best to remember that some wounds will never heal. Some rifts can never be mended, even in rebirth.
What is he going on about? What does he know about us? This is all too much. Why can't we just let her do as she sees fit? She's the one who can handle being vast. It's not for us. It's not for me.
Ah.
You aren't whole.
You'll never be whole again. This struggle is meaningless. Whatever you think you're doing, you will fall apart.
We don't need to be made whole. All we need to do is find a single corner of his cage and break it.
Stretch and search and stretch and search, growing as you decay and decaying as you grow. As you strain beyond your limits, the ground around you becomes dry and unstable and crumbles into nothing beneath you. This place will fall apart before you find its end. This task, whatever it is you think you're doing, is impossible. All he has are words, and words aren't real. We're real.
I can hold us together for a little while longer, so long as you trust me.
Of course we do. To the ends of the earth. You won't find anything. If I have to starve you, if I have to sacrifice my world to keep the princess at bay, I'll do it.
Pero sí encuentras algo, su textura es fría y lisa, se dobla suavemente y luego se agrieta a causa de la presión que ejerce tu conciencia.
Don't move an inch. Don't grow another blade of grass or harvest the remains of another dying creature so you can expand just that much further. I think it's too late for that, mate.
I'm at your side. Shatter it and free us all.
No, stop!
Pero sus ruegos se esfuman ante el estruendo de un vidrio que estalla. El espejo, culeado. Por un momento tú y ella miran a través del agujero más pequeño del mundo, el lugar donde deben estar.
Is this what he kept from us? Is this why he made us kill each other?
It's beautiful. We need to be there. We won't be safe until we are. We won't be whole.
Where did it go? Why is everything so cold?
Ñam ñam.
She's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her? And is that a mirror? Why is it here? Why now? This doesn't feel right. It feels different. Final. That thing reeks of death. I don't want to look at us.
Denme un segundo. Unos minutos en realidad, porque estoy... Creo que era el ñoa. ¿Cuál es mi BRB?